the last few years, programs in schools have diminished down to core programs, English language arts and math. And programs that the museum offers allow us to bring arts back into the schools that otherwise wouldn't be a part of what we normally do and normally offer.
So that's what I feel like the museum brings to us, is this really wide-ranging opportunity for kids to learn from people who actually are artists.
Mark is a painter, and he has a studio right down the street from here. And he actually invited all of the kids to his studio one day, and they were able to watch him work, they were able to talk to him, and then they were able to make their own work.
We were part of the summer program, and I had about 10 or 15 kids come to my studio on 2 days. We did a collaboration. We painted on the floor on this big tarp, and I painted on top of it after they finished. So what I wanted to get across was that they couldn't paint without rules. But of course everybody dropped their cups and it went all over the place, and they used their feet and their hands, and I don't think any of those kids did any kind of painting like that before with their feet. So I thought it was great. It was pretty successful, I thought.
Well, the Sonoma Valley Museum is a great resource for our staff and our teachers. They have the Arts Reward program, their summer workshops, their hands-on workshops.
About 10 years ago, I stepped away from the classroom and built a creative writing program in the Sonoma Valley. The ambition is to create, to find the union between visual art and textual art. And it's kind of interesting to have kids unfamiliar to each other collaborate for this intensive week.
Plein Air is very happy to be a sponsor of the ARTS program. Plein Air started funding money to the museum about 10 years ago.
These children, we are made aware of what a big deal it is to not only have a show, but be in a group show and be in the museum. They walked in and they looked over to the right and they saw this quilt, and each and every student had at least one, minimum 2 blocks, and they could draw them for their parents, bring themselves, bring their aunts, uncles, family members, friends up and say, this is my creation. I did this individual piece, but it's also a part of a collaboration. I'm part of this group.
It was just fabulous when you walked into the reception room of the museum and you saw all of these different art projects that the children had made at their school.
What's happening is kind of that excitement and enthusiasm around art. It just kind of spreads throughout the whole school district.
So earlier this year, when we got the email from the museum asking if the 5th grade teachers at our school wanted to participate, and said, yes, please, we want to do this. This is really important to us.
The looks on their faces when they were able to see their artwork on the wall at the museum was amazing, because it shows that people care about what they think and what they feel.
We see all kinds of different learners throughout the school district, and sometimes students may struggle in the classroom, and you get them to engage in art projects, you're seeing an entirely new child.
You see kids who are that child that you hadn't really noticed a part of themselves before blossoming.
And this one in particular boy, as soon as we laid out the materials, he transformed. His creativity came out, he started shining. He became a helper, he became engaged, he became cooperative, he became my little teacher's pet.
You know, I've been in the media virtually all of my adult life, in newspapers, magazines, radio, television, whatever. And the number one quality that I have found is essential to success in any of those fields is a broad-based creative background.
So I'm a math teacher, and people usually think of that as somebody that just loves quantitative stuff. But I got to tell you, the arts and the creative side, absolutely essential to kids doing well in math. Also, just for making them generally more well-rounded.
Creativity plays a role in every aspect, really, of a student's success, because that creativity feeds into their ability to be better problem solvers, to be better with communication, to be better with really collaboration with others.
Creativity is so important for our students and for our future. Employers are looking for creative thinkers to be able to find ways to solve problems.
And it's been proven that being exposed to art, thinking about art, talking about art changes the way we learn.
We're hoping the kids are problem solvers, not just math doers, right? So that's a very creative process. You have to look at something, you have to deconstruct it, you have to try and put it back together in a different way, you have to look for insight.
So, you know, the museum is a meeting place for the community as a whole. They have lectures there, and they have classes there, and they have hands-on art making experiences there.
I do believe that we all have an artistic soul within us, and it needs to be cultivated, and that's exactly what the museum here in Sonoma does for all of us.
If the museum didn't exist and the arts programs that they sponsor weren't a part of our public education, our valley wouldn't be the same.
With very few museums this small will get a Richard Diebenkorn show.
I describe the Sonoma Valley Museum as
Inspired,
Inclusive,
beautiful,
Innovative,
Essential.
Irreplaceable.
very happy.
It's definitely a jewel.
I think it's a sexy space.
We're so fortunate to live in a community which is so generous. We could never do the work we're doing in our schools without the support of our community.
without your support, there'd be a lot fewer kids who are given the chance to open themselves and express themselves.
without these art programs, many children who come from homes where they don't have access to these kinds of programs outside of the school day would be greatly diminished. So we really depend on our community to help support these programs. So thank you.
Can I be excused?